All right, joining us now, members of the Alamogordo Lady Tiger basketball team and their head coach, Manny Vigil. Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you. How you doing?
Fantastic. And we've got this group of young ladies here. We got Faith Silva, got Iyana Harper, and Anabell Herrera also here with us. Ladies, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Happy to have you here. And Coach, I know it's been very much a hurried process for you guys. You came in later than you would have wanted to in the summer. How have things gone? With 7th hour or 6th hour stuff, and obviously with practice and tryouts starting now. How's it been?
I think things are going pretty smooth right now. In the 7th hour, the few girls we did have, we got some work in, and they've been helping teach the big group we got from the fall sports that came in, and the girls that we had in the preseason are helping to teach the drills and the fundamentals and stuff. And so I think we're ahead of process than when I was anticipating. So I think we're on the right track.
All right, that's good to hear. Ladies, we'll start with you, Faith. We're going to start with you. You're right here next to Coach, so it just kind of worked out that way. She's going to be fine. What have you taken away when working with Coach? Obviously, you've been around. He's been around since July. What are some of the big things you feel like you've learned and have picked up in the last couple of months new with Coach Vigil and Coach Vigil?
My dribbling, I got a lot better on my dribbling more with him, and my shots gotten a lot better, and especially my running and being more in shape with him, especially since the summer and now. Yeah, pretty much.
The conditioning's been a big difference for you guys.
Yeah.
Iyana, how about you? She talked about dribbling, and it's just fundamentals all over. You feel a bit more confident?
Yeah, I feel like he's really pushing us to go hard all the time. No walking, know what you're supposed to do, stuff like that.
A lot of having some self accountability out there.
Yes.
I'm sure. Yeah. Anabell, how about you? What have you picked up? You feel like in the last few months?
Well, he has us do a lot of handling drills, which I think has helped me because I'm not the best with them, but I'm feeling a little bit more confident. Our hustling is getting a lot better than last season because if you don't hustle, then you run, and nobody likes that. So. But yeah, I think we're getting better at everything. So.
Coach, how do you feel like the team's coming along with the fundamentals?
It's a process. They're ahead of the game than when I was anticipating at this time. Because they're actually all there and they're focused and paying attention and they want to learn. And I am pushing them hard, and I'm not giving them any breaks. I'm not slacking. I'm not trying to let them cut any corners. And I think they're picking that up quick. And so it's enabling me to put in more faster than I was thinking. So I've been pretty impressed. These 3 young ladies here have impressed me. They've all been impressive. And, Faith is just a sophomore. And she's kind of blown my mind just in the tryout period because I've only really been working with her and Iyana just a couple of weeks now. And her handles are way more than what I was expecting at this point of the season. And same with Iyana. Iyana, I knew she was going to be a defensive presence for us, and she's probably the strongest person I've seen play her position. But she surprised me on the offensive end. Already. Anabell's been she's a quiet leader, and she's been consistent, and I can count on her, and she's always there, and she's trying to work on all the parts of her game. She actually had the highest numbers out of everybody in the tryouts, and I didn't tell her that, but she actually had the highest numbers pretty much in all categories in the tryouts, and she's actually fundamentally sound. And with these 3 as well, with the rest of the group, we're going to have to start working mentally is the next step with all of them, and I think they're ready to do the physical stuff, and we're going to start on the mental stuff.
Well, and I know when I was at the one practice, one of the big things Coach was talking about was being vocal and you guys talking to each other and ball. There's a lot of that back and forth stuff out there. Anabell, that seems to be a big thing with Coach Vigil is that he wants to make sure you guys are communicating out there. Is that one of the big things that's been important during practices you've found so far? Yeah,
communication is key. I think when we all talk, we hustle more and we're more upbeat in practice, and when we don't talk is when we start slacking. So I think it's a big part.
How do you feel like communication has come along for you, Iyana, in terms of making sure everybody knows where they need to be out there? I'm sure, right?
I feel like when we talk more, we come together more, so we start playing a lot more better. Like she said, when we don't talk, it's we like slow down, stuff is not working, and then that's when he gets on us to like talk. You got to talk 24/7. So yeah.
Faith, I mean, what are the big pieces? I mean, we talk about the just being up and that, but in terms of out there on the floor, is it just needing to know where everybody's at? I mean, what do you find most helpful when you guys are communicating well?
Well, like when we communicate, like it's better for us to know like where we're at on the court, and like Coach said before, like when we're all negative and down, then we don't start talking, and then we start slacking and get ourselves down. But like when we communicate more, the positive energy comes, and then we start getting on the roll with it.
Coach, I mean, what do you find the most important thing about the communication? Because that obviously, I mean, when I was watching the practice, that was really big for you and trying to get the girls to make sure that they were engaging that way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously defensively, specifically basketball speaking, the better defensive teams are going to be the ones who talk the most. And so I'm trying to instill that for them, but kind of bigger picture, I'm trying to get them to learn to communicate in general more. I sent an email out to all the teachers and staff last night about that. They're going to be doing grade checks every 2 weeks, and I want them physically going up to each of their teachers and talking. I like them talking with their parents, communicating with me. So just communication is just kind of something I'm trying to instill in them in general, just for themselves, for life. But then obviously on the court, the defensive end is where we're gonna make our money with this team right now, and so we gotta get that going, the communication, so it's easier.
All right. We've got these three ladies here. Who else have you seen that's kind of impressed you throughout tryouts up to this point?
I mean, honestly, this whole team has been impressive. It took us longer to try to figure out, the varsity versus the junior varsity team, just because everybody's been really impressive. Callista Jacob, just right away was the one. She jumped in and she was just solid from the beginning. Alyssa Madden's dealing with a foot injury that she's kind of trying to fight through, and she's really tough because I know there's something seriously bothering her in her foot, but she's just like, Coach, I'm fine. I'll do this. I'll do that. And all that stuff's impressive. Daniela Martinez, we're thankful she's on the team. That girl is a heart. She just goes 110, 20%. Sometimes I have to try to pull her back a little bit. All of a sudden, all of our team's bodies are flying around against the wall. We got another young one, Kayla Lunar. She's a sophomore, and same thing. There's bodies flying everywhere. So we got a couple pit bulls in there, and we got to pull them back a little bit because, and we just got to let them harness it and then put it out on the other teams. But I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, we've got we got sophomores, we got freshmen. So right here we've got 2 juniors and a sophomore, but we have 0 seniors, and we're really lucky. I mean, it's gonna be tough down the road, but I mean, it's a good problem to have right now with all the sophomores and the freshmen we have in the practices each day. So we're young, but they're already learning.
Yeah. Iyana, how do you feel like the chemistry is coming along with this group? You guys, this is a good group in terms of how you all get along and work together out there on the floor?
Yeah, we all like each other. Like this summer, we had because like our coach, he resigned. So this summer, we like really came together. We hung out like every day, and that's really brought us together more. So.
All right, kind of a group had to kind of work amongst each other. Faith, I mean, is that something you thought this summer was really a team building for you guys?
Yeah, we hung out like all the time. But like after the summer, during volleyball season, like we split up a little bit more, and then like we didn't hang out as much. And then now this season, we weren't hanging out as much, but then now we realized like, look, we got to hang out more, so we're gonna have that chemistry back and work it all together. And
Anabell, how important is chemistry in basketball? I mean, you figure you guys are out there on the floor, you really have to be feeling each other in terms of being able to be successful, right?
Yeah, I think the more tight-knit your team is, the better the communication is, and that's where it plays the big part in how good you work with everybody. And I think out of my 4 years of being in the Tiger basketball, like playing for the school, I think this is the closest that I've seen a team.
All right, very good. Coach, I mean, obviously, kind of new with these ladies. I mean, you've been working with them for a few months. I mean, what's your feeling on the team chemistry with this group over the past months that you've been with them?
Number one, they better have chemistry.
Yeah.
Like I've told them, sometimes I feel like, maybe I can be a better coach in this aspect or that aspect, but I think I'm extremely good at building teams, and I focus on that constantly. And so we work on it, and obviously sometimes it's up and downs, but whenever it's downs, I feel those are my teachable moments where I can kind of point it out, and I won't let them slide on it. And each time I see anything that affects team or chemistry, I'll stop and I'll explain, hey, this is not how it's going to go. And so we talk about our positive energy bus, and they better all be on the bus positive and nothing negative. And then when I do see it, I'll stop and correct it. But I'm really big. That's kind of my biggest thing. That's kind of the backbone of our philosophy and our structure is team and teams first, and the togetherness. So they know we have a symbol that means together, and they all know what that symbol means and where it comes from. So that's kind of the biggest thing we've been working on with all the skills and the fundamentals and the conditioning is the team building.
Guys, heading into non-district, obviously the first game is coming up in about 10 days against Ruidoso on the road. Do you feel like the first few weeks of the season are going to be more of that feeling out and getting the team used to going up against other competition? I mean, how do you view a season? Obviously, district's the most important part, but how do you attack with maybe a new team the first 6, 7, 8 weeks of the season?
So I'm going to have to use the games to really get a gauge of them and see what we're going to do, what we're going to work on, and what parts are where. We have a good scrimmage in Albuquerque next Saturday, and we'll play about 4 or 5 different teams, and so that'll give me a good observation because I've never really seen them play. And so the games are going to be where I'm actually observing for the first time. So a lot of this will be new as I go. Our pre-district schedule is pretty tough. We're at Los Lunas, at Valencia, and at Roswell, and those are going to consistently 3 of your top 5 teams in 5A. And we have St. Pius at home, they'll be tough, and then Las Cruces and Mayfield, obviously. So we have a good, strong pre-district schedule, but those are going to be the games where I'm actually going to be learning the most from them. And so what I'm teaching them right now is just we're pushing the defense, we're pushing the conditioning just to get them up and down until their offensive skills catch up. And so I will learn and be able to answer that better when I see them. So I'll be seeing them for the first time. So I'm curious. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not worried and concerned about it. I'm more curious, and I like where we can be and going into district. And I'm looking at the top teams in the state is what I'm looking at. I want to compare us to them because that's where I want to be. I want to be one of those top teams. So that'll be my comparison.
Is it good to hear, from your coach say that, he believes and he thinks you guys can compete, and that's where your goal should be to Faith to be competing with some of the best teams in the state? That's got to be motivating for you guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those, and I guess I would ask, to get there, what do you feel like you all need to do to progress? What are you going to be, say just personally from your game over the first few weeks of the season? What are you going to be trying to get better at, you feel like?
I could do a lot of things to get better on. Well, I could work on more communicating with my teammates and working with them, and be more positive and not get down on myself, because I have a big problem with getting down on myself when I make a mistake. So I could work on that. Because when we start competing against those big teams, I can't get down on myself. Because once I get down, the whole team gets down. And then it could.
Yeah, makes a difference there. Iyana, first couple weeks of the season, what do you kind of feel like you need to be focusing on? Coach obviously feels like defense is something you're going to be a big part of. But he said he was pleasantly surprised with your offensive game. Where do you feel like your offense is going into the season?
Honestly, at home, I shoot, all the time. So I'm, trying to show him that, I can shoot, you can put me in wherever you want me to be. So I can just, keep working on that and just stay positive.
Anabell, where do you feel like your biggest strengths are heading into the season, and what do you want to, obviously district's the big part of the season. What do you want to see yourself get better at as the season progresses?
I think I could definitely work on my passing. My passing hasn't been the best, and I need to control my turnovers because I get too, flustered, and I turn over the ball too much. And I think I need to work on that because when I do that, the team falls apart kind of because the ball's everywhere.
Yeah. Makes a difference. Obviously, turnovers are a big thing with any team. You want to try to cut those down as much as possible. So.
Yes. My 2 pet peeves are if you don't play defense and if you keep turning the ball over. and she's not the only one. There's a big group of them with the turnovers, and that's what we're working on. That's the fundamental stuff, and that's what I'm trying to teach them. And I'll teach them in different ways, and then sometimes I might have to get on them a little harder than other times, but I understand it's going to be a process with that, and they'll learn it. They'll learn it, or they won't like won't like the other side. But those are my two pet peeves, defense and turnovers, and so I already know they're going to be fine with that.
We were talking at practice one day, and the athleticism of this team seems to be one of its biggest strengths. You've got a lot of ladies that are going to work hard, and they can definitely run up and down the floor. Do you feel like that can be the biggest strength of this team, or is it still just a little bit of an unknown at this point?
Again, I'll know more when the games play, and I can kind of see them in the game action. But obviously, that's going to probably be a biggest strength. And then the other teams are going to try to do what they can to try to take that strength away from us. But we are trying to mentally get stronger so we can impose our will on them. And I'd like them to use that early and often. As soon as the other teams maybe get off the bus, we'll just wait for them right there on the sidewalk. And then get in their face. And I want to impose it right away and as often as we can. So we're going to use it.
Yeah,
we're going to use it pretty much all the time.
How much do you play the expectations game? Obviously, you have expectations for what they do individually as players and as a team. In terms of wins, losses, is that not something big for you as a coach? Or how do you view a season like that?
Well, I usually go. I'm kind of more of a game by game person. I do like playing in the pit though. So that's ultimately in the back of my head. That's my goal. And I want that to be their goal, but we can't get there until we got to focus on the scrimmage first, and then we will look at focusing on the next game. So we'll take it game by game, but ultimately my goal is I want them to play in Albuquerque in the pit and go down that tunnel. So that's my goal.
Anabell, for you personally, kind of expectations for yourself this year. Is there for the team? What do you guys think that you can be this year? Have you thought about it at all, or are you kind of like Coach that you guys are just focusing on what's coming up next on Saturday?
Well, yeah, I think we need to take it step by step and just see what little things we can work on. I want to go to the pit, and I want to win state, and I believe that we can win state, and I believe we can win district. But I think we just need to focus on game by game, like Coach said.
Iyana, how do you? Obviously you play a lot of different sports and are involved in a lot of different things. How do you attack a season in terms of expectations? Do you not try to worry about it too much? Just go out there and play.
You just got to take it game by game, like they said. When you're on the court, take care of business. You know what to do. So
Faith. Pit. Yeah, the pit. Obviously, that would be that's what everybody talks about in basketball. The opportunity to play in the pit. I think that'd be special for you too, right?
Yeah, a pit is. I want to get to the pit, but like they said, you want to take one step at a time, like one game. Like after the first game, figure out what we got to work on it, and just keep going from there. And we got to keep working to get there.
All right. Good deal. Guys, you're on the road for the first official game on the 22nd against Rodoso, and then the first home game is at the 25th, the first home game?
26th, Saturday, I believe.
Okay.
Saturday is the 26th, and that's at home against Mayfield.
All right, so that's the first time that the fans will get to see the Lady Tigers in the Tiger Pit, and we'll look forward to it. So, Coach, appreciate the time.
Thank you, Charles.
Ladies, appreciate it. Good luck this season, okay?
Thank you.